on, Norman.
Don't hold it back, yeah.
I'm just going to go and share the link, so just chat between yourselves.
Yeah, I'll just wait for a few. Come on.
Yeah. I was talking about Matt. I was praising Matt as well. Like, you know what I mean?
Right, it's me, Brian Cockerill, aka the Taxman, and I've got my very, very close friend, my brother, Norman Buckland, the Governor. Norman, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Norman, I want to go back to the Governor, because a lot of people don't know what it is, what the Governor is, unlicensed fighting. You were an expert, you were the Governor, you know the full ins and outs. Can you explain to the people back home who don't know what the Governor means and what the unlicensed fighting's about?
Yeah, I used to get called the Governor as a youngster. People, I think, because the family is a fighting family, the Bucklands and the Coopers and the O'Sullivans. And going back to my grandparents, my great-great-grandparents, my grandfather, he was the Ferrer, Barnet Ferrer. He was the Governor there. He was boxing. He was a fighter, and hardly anyone would fight him. That's old Bucky, they used to call him. And my grandmother's father was Gypsy George Cooper, what was a famous bare-knuckle fighter. And along the way, I don't know if it was a grandfather or one of the young uncles, was Gypsy Jack Cooper, like. And I think one of them ended, and his brother ended up over in Australia. I think they in a fight, someone got killed, like, you know, the bare-knuckle fight. I think he got 6 months to begin with. Right. But you've also got Roy Shaw and Lenny McLean.
Emma, it's gone off. His side. It's gone off on Norman's side. Emma. I know, I'm just trying to tell you it's gone off.
I'll have to resend the link to Norman.
Yeah, just let you know.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone watching.
Sorry,
we'll be
guys.
back 2 minutes.
You must have pulled the plug out, I think.
Yeah. Right, add to stream. There he is. Hey, Norman.
Hello, mate. I'm sorry about that.
All right. We'll just keep carrying on now. So, what were you saying about the fight?
Yeah, Lenny McLean, a great man. Roy Shaw, fantastic, like, you know what I mean? You had a few. You had Cliff Fields. You had a fella up north. You know what I mean? You had great fighters. And they all hit their peak, probably 25. You can never say, I get asked all the time, who's the hardest one out, which one would have won? The only way you could ever tell, like, is have them at their peak and prime at 25 years of age and then fight each other, like, you know what I mean? To me, they're all legends, like you're a legend, like, you know what I mean? I used to have a mate from Hartlepool, Frankie Ross, bless him, he died, heart attack. And he used to talk about you all the time. He said, no, Norman. He said, I've chawed something, like. He said, something off the chavvies, like. And I said, so what? He said, this big fella might come and see me, Brian Cockerill, like. And I said, yeah, well, what? He's a tax man. He might tax me. Apparently, you both got on. You might not remember him, but you both got on well. And I said, what am I supposed to do, like? He said, could you have a word? I said, but he said he's got books out as well. And I said, I've done my homework. I watched you on video, like. You was fighting as an amateur, and it must have been in the ABAs. And you was light on your feet. You was quick. You hit the bloke whenever you wanted to hit him. You must have done something in the ABAs because it was good stuff. Yeah. And it's the only amateur fight I've ever seen anyone what looked like Muhammad Ali, a white Muhammad Ali. Who's this? I said, well, Muhammad Ali. Yes. Yeah. And it was a fantastic fight. You won easier. I did see you in another fight. You was fighting a bloke with a blue Mohican. But I could see you didn't really train for that fight. You was in there for the fun. And that bloke caught you some punches what would have broke my jaw or anyone's else's jaw. But you laughed at it, like. You said, this is fun, like. You know what I mean? And you shook the bloke's hand after, like. I think if you're that little bit fitter, you would have, I don't know, I think it was a draw. I don't know. I think you might have taken the fight. Yeah. But I watched it, and the amateur days, like, you was something special, mate. How you didn't fight for Olympic gold or something like that, then turn on to professional. But I spoke to your wife. I'd like to say about your wife. Yes. We've done bad things. I've done bad things. Sorry, everyone. I regret it. I'd like to say sorry. Families or anything I've upset, like. But my missus said that wasn't that bad. So maybe I think I've done worse than I did. But I mean, you've met your beautiful missus now. You've seen the light, you know what I mean? You've changed. You're a beautiful natured man, like. We've both done wrong things, but we've both got good women now. Yeah. And they're pointing us our right direction, like. And I like to think we can help the kids, like. Maybe I used to help the YPs, the kids and the YPs in prison. We had one of them. I'd like to say Wood Hill, Milton Keynes, because this man was his boxing career started there, and he's one of the greatest, I say, pros out there. And he didn't know at the time. He didn't even know he could box, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the YPs used to be at me like, teach us to box, Norman. Come on, teach us to box, like. And we used to have some old gangsters, Larnold, what they was called, I forget their names, on 1A. And they'd say, listen, we know what's going on next door. Like, half the time we can't sleep. The kids have gone fucking mad. They're turning on the screws used to be called governors.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't really take, people call me Norman. I don't mind governor or Norman, but everyone what was in charge was called governor, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I knew one day they used to call me governor, even the kids. I said, I'm not your screw. You know what I mean? I'm not a prison warden. They said, yeah, but you are the governor. And we had Matt Legg come along, and I trained him up, like, and all the other kids used to join in. Fucking, once they got to know me, like, I took over the wing because they're taxing and someone committed suicide. It was the kids are bad. And I didn't mind the screws. I like the screws. Just like us, they had to go out and work and earn a living. And some of them were lovely people, like, you know. So I didn't hold it against the screws. Some of the YPs are in there for murder. They were on remand. So they were bad boys, like, you know what I mean? Just like me. I was on remand. But they still had to go to court and the testosterone and, you know what I mean? I think what they needed was a good mort to sort them out. Yeah. But, you know, the old doorman said, the old Londoner said, she keeps pinching me. She's the boss. Yeah. If I swear or say anything wrong, she hits me. And the last time I had is off her. She beats me up these days. So if am I making a comeback? No, I'm not making a comeback. My wife beats me up.
Yeah. And, when you go to jail, Norman, it's not a nice place to be. People don't realise you take you've got to eat what they say, you've got to sleep when they say. It's not a nice place to be in jail.
I've seen it all. Like, when I went on to the old Londoners said, Larnold, I remember Larnold because one of his son come from Watford and he was the governor. He was the governor at that one stage. And his name's gone. He's going to hate me for this. But Larnold, he was an old gangster, and he had some old gangsters from London with him, like. And they pulled me aside and, all right, here, Mush, come over here. Yeah, listen, I'm going to have a whisper in your cockle ear or something. It's called. They're Londoners talking London, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. And let's have a word. Come here, mate. Listen, right? The kids over there driving us fucking mad. We can't sleep because they're screaming and shouting all night. I know they're on a different wing, but the wings are together. They said, and one's committed suicide. The screws are having trouble, right? The listeners are over there telling us what's going on. They can't tell the screws, so we want you to go in there and sort them out. And I said, well, I didn't know what it was about. I already had a row on visits where two gangs started fighting, had the kids there, like. So I shot up, hey! What's going on? They'll fucking break it up, like. And fucking about 15 boys sat down this side, another 10 sat down that side, like. Yeah. And the screws looked at me. I thought they were going to nick me. I thought I was in trouble. But they come to see me the next day, like. They said, listen, you know, what he done there was good, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I found them okay. They treated me properly. And I said, would you like to go on that wing, like? Just say they're fucking murdering each other, like. You know, it's hard work. They won't listen to us. You know, because they're screws, like they're governors. We had to call them governors. Yeah. And it's funny, you know, governor, I get called governor, and they were governors. And when I went on there, they called me governor. They said, yeah, you're the governor, like. And I think it might have stuck from there. It might have stuck. Yeah. The Bucklands come over from Ireland. My family originated from Ireland, the Bucklands. And when they come over, they were sheriffs for the king. I'm going back hundreds of years ago. Yeah. They were like debt collectors. And I know the sheriffs. What are they? Yeah, sheriff. Yeah, they were like governors. They'd go into the places and take over. And the king give them a shield, a knight shield, didn't they? Yeah. And I always say that. Where's my belt? Yeah. I always say it's this belt. The Stormy Norman Buckland belt, yeah?
Yeah, it's amazing.
We've got Norman here.
Oh,
we got who's that?
Gary Fairby.
I'll pass it down to Gary, like, bless him.
He's a good lad.
It, like, when I was when I was about 50, I was fighting up in London, and the show's up there. Joey Pryle, blessed, he's dead now. Total respect to the old man, like, you know what I mean? Love the pictures, like, he was a top geezer. When he died, the funeral was out of this world. Even gangsters coming from Spain, all over the world, and America, and he kept London together, like, God bless him. His son took over, like, it fell apart a bit, but I love his son, like, okay, we fell out for a little while, like, but he can phone me up, I'm there for him anytime. And all the old gangsters, like, you know what I mean, they would be there. My idols, like Roy Shaw was there, he was like a god. I met him, lovely. The Soprano brothers, like, one of them, we went to the funeral, like, what a funeral, like, you know what I mean? Some of the funerals we went to, like, was, and I met these people. I was a bit sheepish to belong to begin with, but Matt Legg got me up there because they wanted to know he was a fantastic boxer. He come out of the blue, like, an 18-year-old boy, 19-year-old, and he's knocking everyone out. He's knocked everyone out. And they put him in for the novice ABA, and he pissed that. Then they put him in for the ABA, the big ABA, and he'd just turned senior, and he was knocking everyone out. And he got to the finals. The only person he lost to was the bloke Paul Joyce, is it? No. Yeah. The bloke who won the ABA lost twice to a bloke called Paul Joyce. Then I can remember in Watford, they took me up there, and Matt Legg was fighting Paul Joyce. And I looked at him like, fucking hell. He was, I swear to God, he must have been about 18 or 19 years old. He must have been about 20 stone, like. I can remember as I was getting into the ring, I was looking at his calves. His calves was bigger in my body. They were fucking massive, like. And these Joyces could have a tear up, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I thought, bless him, Matt. You know, maybe I put it onto him too much as an amateur, like, you know what I mean? And I thought, fucking, he should be fighting these boys, like. But there again, I was teaching him bare knuckle fighting in prison.
Yeah, he was telling me.
He could hit like.
He was telling me.
He could hit like a sledgehammer.
Like a sock. You used to put socks on your hands to box in the pad.
I told him the main thing about your hands and knuckles, you've got to protect them. If you got vinegar, soak them in vinegar, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because if you break a knuckle or a finger, you'd be out the show for 6 months, like. Yeah. And I was getting to do his sit-ups, press-ups on his knuckles to toughen them up, like. Yeah. And it's great because there used to be a lot of YPs there, about 100, maybe 60 of them, like, and they all used to join in. Yeah, and when Matt Legg, I used to spar with them, like, especially down where it's Jenny in the showers, like, but especially down where was it now? Where the where you used to eat, where all the tables and chairs were down there. And the governors used to look down on us, and they would be all right about it because it never got out of hand. No. I think when I first got in there, the first 2 weeks, everyone was scared. There was different gangs. I'm not racist, but there was an Asian gang from Watford. I think a fella called Squeak. If you're out there, I love you, I remember you. And a traveller gang from somewhere else, another gang from Bedford, another gang from Aylesbury. And it was a lot of taxing, like. There was a lot of boys staying in their cells, and they couldn't come out. They wouldn't come out for a shower. They're all right there in the toilet in their cell, so they could have a lag or a party any time, like, you know what I mean? But a shower, they're too scared to come out. And when I got in there, I started messing about fighting with them all. They'd all join up as a force, and it was lovely, like, you know. Some of them, bless them, some of the kids have been mentally abused as a kid or physically abused. The ones what I fucking had tears, and the ones, and they told me, like, the ones what were sexually abused, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because, you know, you got to understand, like, I know I hear it a lot, people calling people a nonce for a joke. That name is not a joke. That is fucking serious. That's personal, like, you know what I mean? Some of these boys, for the rest of their life, will be in and out of prison, and some of them have got life sentences. Because I used to hear them talk to me, what happened to them as kids, like, and what happens to them is give them a life sentence in their head. They'll never be the same, like, you know what I mean? And it's fucking, you know, these fucking paedophiles, whatever they do before they do it, they should fucking think what they do, like, is not fucking right, you know what I mean? And I'm sorry I'm getting angry, like, but, you know, when you see kids commit suicide, I had another good mate in there, like, he killed himself as well, like, you know. And some of these are the way they've been brought up. Matt Legg, lucky enough, he had a good parents, like, you know what I mean? So he was halfway there anyway.
Right.
The others were harder work than Matt Legg.
But the thing about Matt Legg is he's very humble, very respectable. He looks up to people like you and I, which is an honour. Yeah. I love it. I love
you. I used to fucking look up to him. So you go and pull him, like, have a word with him, tell him to fuck off. I said, I ain't telling him to fuck off. And the reputation was big as any London, you know what I mean? Anyone in London, like, it was a big reputation. It was scary, but now you've met the missus, like, it's beautiful, like, because she's a lovely girl, like. I've got to show you this. Where's this other belt? Can you see the other belt here?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I can see it.
I don't know what time. Mine is the left me, so I'm lost.
Yeah, I can see it from here.
No, it's the wrong way, darling. This way.
No.
That one there, yeah?
The eagle on it.
Yeah, that's the one Roy Shaw passed down to me.
All right.
And if you see it, it's not the Roy Shaw belt, it's the actual governor belt.
Right. We speak we speak to Tina Shaw quite a lot. We had her on the show. She's been to see us a few times. She's like Tina Shaw.
Tina's a lovely girl. Yeah, I was friends with Tina.
Yeah, she's a lovely lady.
Tell everyone, would you fight Lenny or would you fight Roy? I said I wouldn't fight their sons, let alone their daughters, like, you know what I mean? There's got to be respect when respect is, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you've got to show people respect, like, and they've earned it, like, you know, they had their tear up. If they were both 25 years old, along with everyone, Cliff Fields, the bloke up north, what's his name now? Paul Sykes?
Yeah.
Paul was fucking good, like. Paul was good, like, you know what I mean? Only Gardner put him on his back foot, like, you know what I mean? But Gardner, I believe, was a European champion. I think he went for the world title as well, didn't he?
He was a good boxer, Gardner, wasn't
he? Gardner. And I think, Joe Seabrook. There was Joe Seabrook. He was a hard man as well. Yeah. I met him when I was doing Big Country. I was looking after Big Country, and he was a minder then. A great big geezer, like. And Cliff Fields come from Hemel, and he fought. The only bloke he lost to, he was combined services. You know, he was Army champion, Navy champion, and RAF champion.
Right.
And his amateur career really was professional. They used to throw SAS in with him and that.
Right.
And this boy was a bit tasty. I think he met up with Lenny. I don't know. Well. I don't know what happened there, like, you know what I mean? But it goes to show the bottle Lenny had, because he would fight these boys, like, he'd fight people like Cliff Fields, what's fucking used to take on the SAS, like, and stuff like that. I mean, Lenny, I met up with Lenny, sometimes up Kentish Town, Camden Town. People used to point him out, like, and he was a big boy, like, he was fucking 6'3". He was like the size he used to be, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was massive. He used to remind me of Joey. What was the big fella called now? Joe Egan. You know Joe Egan?
Yeah, I've had him on the show, Joe. He's a nice bloke.
Yeah. No, I was talking to Joe once, and this bloke kept This bloke kept butting in. I'm talking to him, like, and all he done was just put his hand aside like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this bloke flew across the fucking room. And I looked at Joe, like, you look at people like Lenny McLean. You look at his legs, his arms, his actions, his eyes, his nose, and you think, fuck that, you know what I mean? This man's special, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like Lenny, he's a great actor. I envy them both because they're all been in films and, you know what I mean? Like yourself, you're like a god to me as well, like, you know what I mean? But, you know, Matt Legg, he fought AJ, like I said, and Tony.
Spoke to Tyson Fury.
So Tyson, he fought Tyson Fury. He found it hard. He got embarrassed. He was sparring with him just before he come down to me. Yeah. So I can happily say the last fight I got into was with Matt Legg after he sparred with Tyson Fury. Beat so-and-so and beat so-and-so, and there's a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah. I did take a slap, but only by the pros. You know what I mean? Only by, like, people who fought world-class professionals. Yeah. On the street, bare knuckle, I won them all. Like, I've had some tough fights. McPhee, there was one down in Manchester. I thought there was loads of McPhees. Then I went up to Scott and up in Scotland. I fought McPhee up there as well. I thought they were both the same person.
Is that Billy McPhee?
I fought 2 McPhees, and they're animals. I think they must have been brothers or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, one went to shake my hand, and I already fought him down in Manchester, but it must have been someone else because he put his hand. He wouldn't have done it if it was the same bloke. And the first bloke I beat wouldn't have fought me again. I discolored his neck. So it must have been another up in Edinburgh. There must have been another because when I was on tour with Vic Bellamy, he used to look after the groups. Yeah. Oh, like bloody all the groups like this. Belinda Cardell, even Harry Webb, Cliff Richards. I mean, silly things like that.
Yeah.
All the groups, we used to do all the groups, and we went up there, and we were in Edinburgh, and the doormen were talking, and they were talking about McPhee to Vic Bellamy, and I thought, listen, I was always stupid around the gangsters because I like you yourself. I used to look up to you guys, and I used to be a listener. I can remember. When I was a little kid, my family were fruiters, and they used to go to Spitfield Market. I've got to tell you this, at the East End. And they used to go there and they used to pick the fruit up and bring it back to Ellsbury to sell it. And they'd always be chatting like, you know what I mean? Always, hell, fucking right, and all that, hell, what? And I'd score of them, like, and, up that and pears and, good blimey, John, and who's the governor? And I used to listen, they used to talk about the craze that they had a meat stall right next to the fruit stalls, like. And they used to talk about Ronnie and Reggie and you know what I mean? I do love them, and I love their films, and I love what they're about. I mean, it's wrong of me to blow them out of proportion because they were villains like we used to be, but we can turn around and put our hands up and say, listen, we've changed. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's like Charlie Bronson, like. Oh, when I used to train Matt Legg and the boys, they used to go down the block. I was put down the block as well, but they wouldn't let me out with him. And I said, why wouldn't you let me out and exercise? I said, I'd love to meet Charlie Bronson. Yeah. They said, then you fucking not kick off, you're mental. Yeah. And I said, no, I worship the man, like. I said, he's been training the YPs up the same as me, like. I said, but he's never took credit for what he's done, like. No. You know what I mean? But he used to help the kids. He used to talk to the kids as well. And it was good. They thought that, well, at the time, we didn't really know who he was. I knew he took a hostage because it was a library bloke and he shit himself. But he literally shit himself. But you can understand.
People like us, we look up to each other. We have respect for each other because we've done what we've done. People don't understand. When you have a fight in the pub, it's 2 seconds, it's over. But when you go to fight someone on the field, in 10 weeks' time, you're sitting, got to fight him. I'm going to beat him. With your friends, you feel great confident. Then you're in bed on your own. You're going, what if he beats me? What if I get knocked out? What if I don't win? People don't understand the mentality of having to train for 8 or 10 weeks to fight someone. It takes a lot of bottles to go and meet someone on the field. Especially bare knuckle is really hard because you could be fighting one. I've got to fight one. There's been 20 gypsies. I ended up fighting 5 or 6 of them. Yeah. You know,
these were all youngsters in the YP wing, like, you know what I mean? A lot of travellers. You used to get a lot of chavvies there, like, you know what I mean? I used to get them down in there. I trained a boy up from Pony Camp. I think Pony Field's down the bottom in Western Turville. I've got my own ring down the bottom there. And I thought he was going to be the next Tyson Fury. But I was training him up and I said to his dad, we got to get him. We've got to get him a licence, like, you know what I mean? He's got to have a licence to box. He does his bare knuckle. There was 3 of them. There was Jimmy and Johnny. Duran brothers, like, you know what I mean? And I want to thank them now, like, they used to look after my kids when I used to go to work and they used to feed my kids, like, you know what I mean? And they were good, like, so my heart goes out to them, all the travellers out there, especially the ones down in Ponyfield, the Western Turville, who used to look after my kids. I owe you big time, and I'm proud to train a lot of your kids up. But we had this Paddy Duran, he's about 6'2" now and about 20 stone. And his dad come up to him about a year ago and said, can you start sparring with him again? And I looked at him, I said, no. I said, Matt Legg's finished me off. Yeah. I said, I'm not doing it. After Matt Legg, I had my tail in between, although you can see it on YouTube, you know what I mean, the scrap. It was done tidy, and I looked a better boxer than what I did when I was at Caesar's Palace. The only thing with Caesar's Palace is that I wanted... what's that bloke's name called now, darling? I wanted to fight. Huh? Who's that bloke's name? I'll write it down. I'll forget names.
Kimbo.
Oh,
Kimbo Twice. You know, I wouldn't slag anyone off. Even the boys I fought, you know, they put up good fights.
Yeah.
But I wanted Kimbo Slice and I wanted the other one, Butterfield.
Yeah, Butterbean.
Butterbean. I fucking kept saying to Joey, Joey, don't give me any easy fights. Because some of the boys, I mean, I spoke to JJ to begin with. Like, I owe Joey a lot of respect and his dad. Like, and I spoke to Jojo before the fight, and he said, "Look, if I go over, you won't jump all over my head, like." And I said, "Listen, you got a chance of beating me." I said, "I'm an old man, 50 now." I said, "The fights, you know what I mean, don't really mean a lot to me. I know I'm only fighting one person, not 3 or 4. So I'm just going to come into it like just having a cup of tea or a wee or something. It don't mean nothing to me." I said, "Your best bet." And I was talking to, giving him tips how to go about it, like, you know what I mean? But I went in there like a mental house, like, you know, and already jumped out the ring and knocked someone out. The bloke I knocked out, I spoke to him in the future. His son was a good boxer, and he's a lovely fella. And he runs some sort of hooligan football team, like, you know what I mean? He scolded football. So they were all in there. So I had a right old tear up with them, like. I think I knocked him out, like. And I like Joey, young Joey, what he done, like, because when the end of the fight, like, they were still rearing up and everything. And Joey said, I said, like, shall I go out the other side? Because I said, I'm going to have a tear up if I go out this side. He said, no, you go out this side and you walk in between them and you snarl at them, like, you know what I mean? And if you ever seen the fight, as I'm getting out, like, I said, you big fella. I said, you're the next. You're the next. You're the next I fight. She's telling me off for shout again, like, you know what I mean? So it wound them all up. But young Joey loved it, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, you know what I mean? It was great, like, you know what I mean? But if Matt, you know, Matt was fighting the top professionals, world class at the moment. If he come down, he stepped in the ring with me, he would have. I was an old man. At 55, he fucking give me a good hiding. So I reckon he would have taken me then, like, you know what I mean? But I was training, I was sparring with the top pros, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he's telling me.
And the fights with Joey, no disrespect, they were easy fights. They were easy walk-on fights. Yeah. And I would have liked harder fights. He did offer me a few more fights after I called it a day. Like, I was supposed to fight my old mate Dave, but he pulled out, bless him. That would have been a good fight. And someone else pulled out. And they didn't have the boys I wanted to, and they were putting other boys instead. Like, and sometimes you get in with a bad fighter, he can make you look bad. You know what I mean? So I got pissed. I mean, he's named a couple more, like a Welsh fella and someone else, like, you know what I mean? And I said, look, I'm going to get in the ring. They're going to be first round knockouts. Like, I'm going to feel like I've robbed the punters, like, you know what I mean? And I said, listen, I'm the governor. I've got my original belt, the Stormy Norman Buckland belt. I've got the belt what fucking Roy Shaw passed down to me. I said, I've got 2 belts, the bare knuckle and the unlicensed. I said, they're mine. I said, if in the future you ever want me to hand like your belt down, this belt behind me, I said, it won't be that belt because Roy Shaw give me it. It will be a belt, you know what I mean? It will be another governor's belt. Yeah. But I said, it's a London belt. It belongs to London. Yeah. And I promise I'll never give it out unless they want me to at a show or whatever, like, you know.
Yeah. I was just going to say, Matt said to me, ask him about the time when 4 of his friends at the petrol station attacked you.
I know, that was before the fight. I'll tell you about that fight in a minute. Yeah. But what happened, he stitched one of them up. He had me in the point, waiting for him in the point. And that's when we had to go to Watford. He had to fight Paul Joyce. He fucking massive man, Paul. Total respect to Paul Joyce. You know, when I see him, like, I fucking shit myself. It was like me getting in the ring with him. Because Matt Legg, he come from a good family, but I loved him like a son. Yeah. And I thought, fucking, how can he take this fucking geezer out? I think he was a bare knuckle fighter as well, like. He was a tough geezer, a fucking tough geezer. I think he done slabbing, paving and all that, like, you know what I mean? But you can see him as a JCB, just pick all the rocks and bricks up. He was a JCB, like, and I thought, what have I done here, like? But Matt beat him, you know what I mean? And it was hard. It was a fucking hard fight. And Matt said in the first round, he said he was thrown all over the place, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I would have got in the ring and helped him, but he probably squashed me with 1 foot, like, you know what I mean? But I'm glad I didn't meet those. You know what I mean? I never come across those while I was prize fighting with up Caesar's Palace, like, you know what I mean? Because they were tough boys.
Yeah.
But there again, I did want Kimbo Slice and I did want the other one. But that didn't happen. So it doesn't matter. You know, there were great days up there. I remember the old man funeral, like, that was fantastic. The brothers, the Lambrano brothers were fantastic. It was great. It was walking into a paradise. It's like putting a film on in the 40s, like, and seeing all the James Cagney and all that. But instead, these were real gangsters, like, you know. Yeah. And there was things what needed to be done, and they wouldn't ask me to do them. You know what I mean? I couldn't read all right. I had kids to look after. I think I was a single dad. The money I was earning went on my kids, like. So even Dave Courtney never got me into trouble, like. And I believe if I was friends with you back in those days, like, I think we would have been good friends and you would have kept me out of trouble. I'm not a thief. I don't steal, like, you know what I mean? I've always tried to be truthful, like, and even when I was in prison, towards the end, it was the raves, like the pubs and the clubs, and it was all over the country. Yeah. It was Back to the Future, Sunrise, Outer Skelter, any big scene what was on at the time. We'd rather work for them or they hired us. You know what I mean? And even in London, it was in the city lot. They come to us and said, can we do the doors? And I said, yeah. I said, they're fucking top boys, like. And they were tough, proper, like soldiers they were. They were like us. My brother could get 200 men together. It wasn't a team. It was a fucking army. Yeah. We should have marched on Europe, like. We could have taken it all at that time. We could have taken everywhere. But it was the drugs and the big dealers. They were getting shot and things just got out of hand, like. Yeah. And I went silly with, at the end, like, I was getting a lot of death threats and, you know, I went silly with a fucking sawn off, like, I used to carry one on me, what was disrespectful because I'm a fighter, but you can't fight bullets, you know what I mean?
No, I can't.
You can't fight knives as well, that's stupid. You don't do that anymore, like, for what I've experienced in prison, and a lot of my friends are dead now, a lot of them been killed, shot or stabbed. Please, guys, you know, for the children, for the sake of the children, what have been born now or been raised now, like, the future is education. I mean, 100 years from now, 50 years from now, robots are going to be challenged against us, like. You know, our children have got to be more clever than robots, you know. So that's the only thing I regret. I was never educated, like. And all I know to tell people, like, even at school, you know what I mean, even in prison, I'd love to go back to prison and help the youngsters and YPs and that. They must get an education. Like, the parents have got to help them, you know what I mean, on this long road. Like, fighting was a way out for me, like, and a way of earning money. It was the wrong way, but I never had an education. Like, the people I've met in all my life, I've come across people like, you know what I mean, I've always met you. I've told Matt about you all the time. I've told people about London, like, you know what I mean. Freddie Foreman was one of the nicest blokes I ever worked with and been with, like, on tour, like, you know. And to listen to him, like, he was born in the second, you know, he was a kid in the Second World War. He'd come out of the shelters where the trains were, like, everyone used to run down there because of the bombs. He'd come out of there and all the houses, the flats used to be blown up. I think he went home at one stage, his house was burnt down. And there would be bodies. My grandmother told me the same. There'd be your neighbours, your friends' bodies splattered all over the place. Not only them, their children as well. Like, it was disgusting, like. You know, they got brought up in that era, like, you know what I mean? And their way to survive was difficult. My grandmother had a fruit stall. She used to put it up. And she said all the houses and flats around us used to be burnt down. And all it used to be a fruit stall and all fucking rubble around them, you know what I mean? Yeah, they did. Well, I've always got respect for the old gangsters, like the old timers, the old fighters, all the fighters. I ain't got a bad word to say about no one. I love everyone, like. And if there's any haters out there, I love you too, all right? Yeah. I don't want to be, I was never the hardest man in the country. Not why there's SAS soldiers and people walking around like Tyson Fury and Matt Legg. That's impossible. Danny Williams, you know, you can't be the hardest man, like, you know what I mean? It's impossible, like. I used to think I was, you know, and I used to like being up there, but there was always someone better than me. It's just that I was lucky. I never met that person. I might have met them, but I never fought them. I was never a bully, so I wouldn't bully people when they'd come back at me. Like the people I had to fight were like half a dozen people at the time, or tasty people, a little bit fucking naughty as well. And even if it was a hiding, I could take a hiding of 5 or 6 people and then come back a minute later while I'm taking the hiding and dish it out. Yeah. It's just the way it was. But it was the same like you. You know, we had the odds against us and we done well. I was lucky that I was never beaten. I'll never come across someone who could beat me. Maybe that was lucky, or I won one tough motherfucker, like, you know what I mean? Towards the end, I would have liked to finish it off up in London, like, you know what I mean, with Kumo slice or the butter bean, you know what I mean. I reckon I could have stood my ground. I reckon I might have even beaten them. My sparring partners are world class. I had Barry Bennett, like, he's a spy of all the light heavyweights, middleweights. He even sparred with Frank Bruno, sparring partner he was as well. So I was up there right at the top, you know what I mean. I should have turned pro. I'm a fucking idiot I am. You know what I mean? I made mistakes. I did go on steroids for a while, and that was my downfall. And I had tendonitis in my arms. But the last few fights, they were easy. I had harder sparring matches than what I had fights. Right. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a shame. But, you know, I'm the fucking governor.
What was the hardest fight you had?
The hardest fight I had was the McPhee's, like McPhee's.
Yeah, the Scottish.
They kill people, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Alex, McPhee killed
There's me book. Norman.
Hey?
There's the book I did, Scottish Hard Bastards.
Is that you?
Yeah, it's me, yeah. I was born in Scotland, wasn't I?
Oh, fucking hell, you was an hard bastard as well, mate. I wouldn't fucking even... They said, can you have a word with me? I said, fuck off, like. You're about 6'2", about 22 stone.
24 stone and 6'3".
You were the part. Yeah. But people with your reputation, Charlie Bronson, the Cranes, you know what I mean? The fighters, Joey Powell, even the governor, like Lenny McLean, I looked up to, I had respect, like, you know what I mean? You don't get a reputation like you without earning it, like, and you earn it and you're there. And when I see the amateur fights, I thought, fucking hell, he was good, like. And now he's twice the size, twice as strong, and you can still shape up. You guys are in the same league as Matt Legg. You're just special, very, very special, like. And I'm proud to say that I did help Matt Legg out. I trained him up in prison. You know what I mean? His boxing abilities, was born in prison. Ricky English took him on. I believe he took him into fights too quick, but that's the way Matt Legg wanted. He only lost to world champions. Only lost to the best. Everyone else he knocked out, like. And you know what I mean? Through him, going up to London, meeting all the gangsters, like, meeting you, meeting everyone. I love it. I love chatting, like. I never got nothing bad to say about people, like, you know what I mean? And I've got a beautiful wife. She's come late in life. Nanette, she's Filipino, just like your missus. And she wakes me up to reality now, like, you know what I mean? I look at the light and there's a God there, like, or you know what I mean? There's someone there, like, and we've got to show a little bit of respect. We've got to help our youngest, like, you know what I mean? And be civil, just help people out and be nice. Be kind. Nice to be nice.
I think if we'd have been bad guys, we'd have been killed. We should have been killed 1,000 times over. But I think now, the children of today and tomorrow, if we hadn't done what we did in the past, and we know we were wrong what we did, but we can teach the kids of today and tomorrow not to do what we done. Yeah.
I didn't think I was. Yeah, go on, mate. Go on. I'll let you go now. Hey, come on. Let's hear about. Let me hear a bit about you. I know about you.
Not to carry knives.
We actually met you. I want to shake your hand, like.
Yeah, not to carry knives are not the way.
I want to shake his hand and his dad and his brother and Jesus Christ. There's a lot of people, but I want to hear about you, mate. Come on.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, when we were fighting nowadays, we'd have a fight with your fists and that was it. You'd shake hands and it was finished with. You didn't go around burning people's houses. You didn't go around with knives. You didn't go around chopping people up. You'd have a fight. It was finished with. You'd go for a drink afterwards and it was forgot about. You'd end up being friends with the person you fought. Now, 20 onto 120. How can 20 onto one lad be glorified? How can 20 people beat one lad up be good? Doesn't make sense.
There was only one fight I come unstuck. That was at Brixton. We was working for a group up there, like, you know, and it was Ginger, Steve Audroy. He come from Aston Clinton. I remember in prison, I've got to say their names. The Francois in prison from Wing. Like, I love them very much. I'm just going to skip stories now. I can remember in prison when the YPs used to do me head in, I used to go onto the adults wing, like, to get away from them, like, because they want the books all the time, like, it's hard work. You know what I mean? And so I used to train. You can't train 24/7, like. So I'm glad when they used to go down the block and Charlie Bronson used to help them. And I used to get on the wing and they fucking the YPs. I sat down in the toilet once to have a caca, and they painted my toilet. Shoe polish all over the toilet. And when I got out, my arse was black as blue, like. And they put Clingfield. I went for a poo, and there's Clingfield. I went for a poo, and it double-barreled on me. And I do little shits, like. And so I used to get the hump with them, like. They were like kids, you know what I mean? I used to play fight. You know, half a dozen of them used to jump me. Even when I used to spar with Matt Legg, although he was a kid, like, he would hit like a sledgehammer, like. I had to be careful. But once they started knowing, and one would kick me up the arse or take a fucking liver shot at me or a kidney punch. So now and again, when it was downstairs out the showers, because I used to throw him against the fucking shower thing, and the shower used to soak us both, like, you know what I mean? And all the showers would come on. But down the bottom, like, by the food stand where the tables were, like, the YPs used to stand around us. And now and again, I'd get one and throw them into him. And he would throw a few body shots, like, you know what I mean? And one would get brave and kick me at the arse. I'd catch him, and it was fun, but it was training. But they used to want to go on 24/7. You know what I mean? They loved it. They were kids. They could fight all the time. They were young travellers.
What they used to do with me when I used to go in the yard, there'd be about 60 people in the yard. I'd sit on the chair, and they'd all sit on like school kids. And what about the fight with him? What tells us about that fight, Brian? I'd be sitting there telling them about fights I had, and I fought this one. Remember when you fought him? Tell us about that one. And I'd be teaching them like a school teacher, and they'll be sat in the yard listening to me telling stories. There wasn't one fight in 3 months. I was on remand. Wasn't one fight. The day I got out, 2 lads got stabbed, 2 screws got beat up. It just shows you how much power you can have in them jails.
Yeah, I kicked off on visits. Did I tell you about the visits I kicked off? I think Matt Legg, a few of the boys are there. And I went fucking mad. They were fighting. It was sort of a racist thing. Some of the Asian people. I'm not racist, by the way. I love black people, Asian people, whatever they come, what nationality, what they're born under. Like, I love them all. Like, you know what I mean? There's God out there. Like, you know what I mean? And we all play. Don't matter if it's Allah got it, but Allah has got it. It's all to one person. Like, we should all stick together. Like, you know. And I love everyone. But yeah, on visits, like they were rowing. Like, I had the kids in my arms, my babies. Like, and I got. No fucking coming up! That's enough! Fuck you! Leave it! I went up, fucking chairs and tables went in the air, like, and all the screws stood back, like, and the boys, like, half a dozen over this side, a dozen over that side, would sit down. So it never, just by, I think you know it in the clubs, by screaming and shouting and raising your voice and puffing your chest out, that it could solve a thing. And I thought, oh, fuck me, I'm in trouble now. And the whole place went quiet, just when you could have dropped a pin and heard it. And when I went back to my cell, the screws come off. I thought they were going to bend me up and take me down the cell. And they were great to me. They said, look, what you done, you know, you stopped it all. No one got hurt, like, you know. It was a bit loud, but we got it videoed. They videoed it. It's on video. Yeah. I never see the video. So some of the boys, I had a screw there, was a mate of mine, Tomo. What's his surname?
Thompson.
Thompson. We called him Tomo. His name's Thompson. Like, he's a mate of mine now, bodybuilder. Like, and he used to come in the cell and see me now and again. He said, look, I've got a letter. Here's a letter from so and so. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. The screw said you can have an enhanced visit 4 hours with your wife, and I got an advanced visit for that. And he said, Norman, he said, you don't hate anyone. I said, no, I don't know. I said, I'm in here, like, I deserve to be in here, like. you know, pulling out guns and shooting them. I said, it's disgusting. I said, it's bad for the YPs. Like, it's no good for them. You know what I mean? What I done was wrong. I said, but he went beyond fisticuffs.
Yeah.
I said, in the late 80s, like, people get, I mean, those three got shot in the fucking, I think that's something to do in the city. They got shot in the Land Rover. I had a mate of mine taken up the woods and shot dead, like, and I had mates doing time for shooters, and it went fucking stupid, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I thought it could be your son, my son, anyone's kids. And all at least I could do is help them out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I told him, like, you want to be fit, you want to be a gangster. I said, they love boxers, like. I said, you just get into it. I said, see how you get on. And I didn't know I'd be turning out a Matt Legg, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. A fantastic professional boxer, what fought all the best in the world, like. The only ones he's ever lost to are the top boys, like, you know what I mean? And even in the 70s, he would have been up there with Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, and everyone else. Larry, you know what I mean? Everyone else.
He fought James Toney, I think he had 90 fights. He was never stopped, James Toney. He got beat on points, but he was never stopped. So
he was never stopped. I mean, he beat Tyson. No, he didn't. Yeah, who did he beat? Oh no, Holyfield. Tyson went fighting, but even Tyson respected him. Like, he said, he was the best defensive boxer out of it in the whole of history. Like, you know what I mean?
Really good chin. Really good chin. He had a strong chin.
Well, this is what Matt got told. The boys there, the American boys, was giving him tips. They said, don't try and knock him out, because no one can knock him out. It's impossible. You can't knock the man out.
Yeah.
And there's me fucking up London, like, the East End, telling him, fucking throw that big right hand. I didn't know. He couldn't throw. He was doing well, and fuck me, Matt fucking went 2 or 3 rounds, like, he done really well. And I'm proud of him. I love him like a son, like, you know. Yeah. This man now, I'd like to see him doing a few movies, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything like that. He deserves, like you do, to be out there doing like Lenny McLean, you know what I mean? Making a few gangster films and that. And on the side, just telling the kids, listen, you know, we're telling you now, like, education's the way forward, like, you know what I mean? We've made mistakes. And like, I know you would help the youngsters out today. Yeah, and hold on. I've got this here as well. What's this? The show. I've got a show coming along. Essex show. Well, you can read. I can't. Essex show, the 2nd of April.
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
Oh, you're going to be there? Oh, hey, look, everyone.
I'm the fucking governor.
Who's going to be there?
I'm the governor.
You're the governor.
I'm the governor.
We've got a few great boxers turn up. Yeah, was he an Olympic winner? Was he? A Commonwealth fighter is going to turn up. Yeah, Gavin Gwen's going to be there. Michael. What is it?
Rebellistin.
Mike, you say it. You say the name. Michael Rebellistin. Sorry.
I'm
going to slap me now for getting his name wrong. Oh yeah, and the man himself. He's great. Have you met Alex Reed?
No, we haven't met Alex. No.
He's a proper gentleman. He is a nice guy. Yeah. He come down here. I had about 30 guys down here. He was filming Killer Bitch. Some good gangsters in the film. I didn't know it was going to be like, you know, there's going to be fucking women with no clothes into that, because I had my kids running about down the bottom, like. But our scenes weren't about that. But I can remember. I said, hit me as hard as you can. So he started hitting me in the stomach. I said, I can't feel nothing. I said, do me a kick. And he done a backward flick kick. And he moved me about 2 or 3 foot across the... And I felt like it broke my spine. But I said, no, I couldn't feel that either. And he showed me on YouTube, like, a couple of clips that he did do well. On the floor, I couldn't do that fucking... whatever they do, that fighting thing on the floor. Yeah. So he had me in knots once, like, on that. 3 months later, after all that, I could feel a gut ache. And it was the footprint where he done his flying back kick. You know what I mean? Yeah. I still felt the fucking foot in my gut. And he went on to fight for a world champion, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And he was a good actor, like, he was a lovely geezer. He just means well, like, he's not rude, he's not like, you know what I mean? Yeah. He's not nothing bad about him. He's a lovely guy, and I'm glad you're going to meet him, like, you know what I mean?
I don't care what anyone says in the world. No matter how good you are, how bad you are, to get in that ring takes a lot of bottle. It's a lonely place.
He parked his car, come down there. I had fucking 30 fucking hooligans. They might as well have been Hell's Angels. And he was attacked from rough boys, like. And I looked at him, like, and he was in the papers and on TV because of the young lady he had. What's her name? What girlfriend did he have?
Katie Price.
Katie Price. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? He was new on the scene and he walked down there and I can remember, like, he looked like a soldier, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, just out of the army, like. And he was an ex-military, like, he looked the part. And I'd like to say hello to an old fighter, a Welsh fighter. I forget his name now. What's his name? I fought him. One of my fights, I fought him. And he used to look stressed. I'd like to say hello to him. He was in the army, like, and one of his mates died. He carried him all the way back to the thing, like. He wasn't rated that much, but he was, because after the fights he had, he didn't want to win. He didn't really care. He did win, he didn't win. But me, he gave me a fucking hard fight. And I can remember him smashing at the door before we went out in the ring. I'll fucking kill you, Governor. I'll kill you. I said, that's Lenny McLean and Roy Shaw. He said, no, you're the Governor. I'm going to be. And what's his name? He's going to kill me. Steve Garf. Steve Garf. Garf.
Yeah.
Oh, something like that. So really, I had some great times. I know I fell out with some of the boys over stupid things, and that's because I didn't have the right fights. I wanted the fights I wanted, and it was stupidity of me, like. And I know I pissed a few off, but I love you all. You only got to phone me up when I'm beside you anytime. You know what I mean? I've not got a bad word.
I think Big Joe Egan's going as well on the 8th, April the 8th, to the show. I'm sure he's going.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because I'm crippled and hardly move. You can look after me.
I think they need three of us that Joe Egan's, like. I was checking him out, and the only bloke I could put next to Joe Egan's was Lenny McLean.
Yeah.
And Lenny, I pissed the security off down at Wembley Arena, but I was nice about it. I had a bloke called Michael Dick, was another sparring partner. The best people I had sparring were top professional boxers. And he wanted to fight all the Wembley security. I had a pass to go everywhere. We were working for actual prints, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Looking after his merchandise. And the next day, they got pissed off, like, and I told him, like, I said, listen, in future, wherever I go, I've got my pass and I'll be nice. Yes, sir, no, sir. And I said, sorry about my mate. I said, he's a professional boxer. He's up and coming, like Michael Dick. And he was a lovely fella. But they got Lenny in the next night. And all I see is this fucking monster. You know what I mean? 6'3", he must have been about 23 stone as well, like. And I've never seen a more menacing man in my life. Like Joe Higgins, when he's in these films, like, another Joe Higgins. And he looked, the looks was like a Roy Shaw look. But even worse, Roy Shaw wanted to torture you, then murder you. But Lenny McLean wanted to murder you, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I was going to have a chat to him, like, but good as gold he walked off, like, you know what I mean? I was looking at him, trying to size him up. And I thought, if I run him at 20 miles an hour, like, and hit him in the belly with my head, he might grab me by the head and throw me over my shoulders, like, you know what I mean? And I was so amazed by this fella, like, you know what I mean? And I forgot who he was, Lenny McLean, because he'd put on so much weight. This must have been a couple of years before he died, few years before he died. Yeah. So my, you know what I mean? My hat goes off to Lenny McLean. What a hard bastard. He was a hard bastard. He was a hard bastard in the films. And he was just, how he didn't make so many more films, I don't know, like, you know what I mean? But just like Joe Higgins, he got in the films, but he was another hard bastard. Yeah, he wasn't actually a hard bastard. Irish champion, 3 times Irish champion. And he used to say one of his fights he fell over, like. And his dad used to wake him up in bed in the morning. This is Joe Higgins. And he used to put the blanket over his head and say, I'm going back to sleep, like. And he said, when they would look at me in the ring, he said, I was pulling the blanket over my head to go back to sleep. Yeah, they were saying, get up! And I think he got up and beat the geezer. Yeah, but to listen to Joe Higgins and Roy Shaw, I had the pleasure to listen to. Roy Shaw, I loved his daughter. You know what I mean? I loved it. You know, his son was lovely. His son looked just as hard as Roy did. A top geezer, and he had some great fights. A bloke was never taking the recognition what he needed, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he was just a nice guy, like, but he was a top bloke. Lenny's son I never met, but fair play to him. I've seen him shape up on the pads and the gloves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He looks amazing. His daughter, I've met his daughter. She reminded me of Lenny McLean. I think it was her big hands, but she's beautiful. Beautiful, really a beautiful woman. But the way she put her hands in the air, like, it was like Lenny, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'll be honest, like, I can't fight women. They always beat me up, like, so I was scared they was going to slap me. Tina and her. I thought if I take a slap off one of them, I'm going to have to run away.
Yeah.
I've taken hidings off the girls, but I've never taken an hiding off the bloke, off a geezer in my life.
Yeah.
The last fight at 55, Matt Legg, he's just been fighting with, you know what I mean, with Tyson Fury, like, just got a few rounds of him, come down here, pissed off, and he finished me off, like, but the boy I trained up as a kid, I taught him everything I knew. What a way to go out, you know what I mean?
He loves you to bits, Norman. He does love you to bits, and I love you to bits. And people like yourself and me, we don't go out. When we go somewhere, we be polite, dignity, and pride for people. I bump into someone, spill a drink. I'll say, "Sorry, mate, I'll get you a new drink." People take your kindness as a weakness. You get people doing that.
Yeah, and all the gangsters in London, you know what I mean? Especially my old mate Freddie Foreman, like, what a geezer. I can remember the old boys. My brother done a bit. Well, I shouldn't be saying that because he's a Mason now, so I can't say it. But I had someone who done a lot of time in prison, like, and they were a couple of cells away from Freddie Foreman. Yeah. And they said Christmas time, the Screws would bring sacks and sacks and sacks of Christmas cards to Freddie.
Yeah.
So if he's well known and he's a godfather now, even back like years and years ago, like, he was a godfather. He done what he done because he was brought up in that age of the Second World War, where everyone, you didn't know if you was going down in the shelter, if you was going to lose your family. You know what I mean? People, Hitler was bombing us, like, you know what I mean? Especially in the East Side. That's where my grandmother was all over London. But she reminded me, because I was down the, what's that pub called now? The Blind Beggar.
Blind Beggar, yeah.
And out the front road, it's a name for the front. And they kept mentioning it. My nan used to mention it, like. So going back years and years and years ago, like, the Craig twins family, they must have all known each other, like, from the East End.
Yeah, of course.
And it was great. You know, I was picking up history. I was meeting all. I do shout out, "Who's the governor? I'm the governor. You're the governor as well, and Matt Legg. Matt Legg finished me off." And I always used to think when I used to fight at Caesar's Palace, if Matt puts his hand up, there used to be 2,000 people in the crowd.
Yeah.
And it didn't bother me. Anyone could put their hand up. Sometimes I used to jump out the ring and knock them out when they wanted to fight me. They never used to have to step in the ring. And that's the honest God truth. Like, people can tell you that. Yeah. And the hands, you know, I thought any hand can come up. I'll fight anyone. And I thought, say if Matt fucking Legg's hands come up, like, you know what I mean? His hand came up, so I'd have to fight him. And I thought, you know, he'd have to be dirty. I'd have to fight him dirty. Yeah, and what tricks haven't I shown him, like, you know what I mean? And I thought, well, fuck it, what a way to go, like, you know what I mean? So he beats me. He's the new governor, like. Lenny and Roy would be happy with that. Everyone would be happy with that. But he wouldn't challenge me. He was like, you know what I mean? I loved him to pieces, like you guys. And there was never that connection, like, they'd never disrespect each other, like, you know what I mean? And there were some good boys out there, you know. There was one what used to box all the time. I think he boxed as a heavyweight, middleweight originally. He shaped up well. I never met him, but he was a better boxer than me. And I didn't know I might have had to blag it before or after or during the fight. I'd have to come over with some sort of stunt to do him, like. But anyone what got in front of me, I was going to bust up. I'm not being funny. But you was the same. We were all the same in our day. Like, I was there to do a job. But the boys weren't. It wasn't Kimbo Slice. It wasn't fucking Butterbean. So I didn't see a risk. And there wasn't three of them, like. Unless I got hit really hard, then I'd see five of them. I wouldn't know which one to hit first. But there was no threat there. I didn't feel threatened. I never felt threatened in any fight. Yes. But even now, like, I'd go down fighting. You know what I mean? I've had it. The day's over. But, you know, I've seen them. I fought the best. I fought the hardest. I've met the top boys. And I'd like to say all I want to do now is help the kids out there, help the children, boys in prison, like women what have been battered to death, like. And Eric, what you got written down there? Oh, I've got one more. Yeah. Where does it start? Alpha Security, Industrials, Good Firm Security. So it's Alpha. What's it called?
Right.
Alpha Security. Now they're a beautiful security firm, like, you know what I mean. Yeah. And anytime anyone wants any security out there, they're the bloke's missus give me a telling off the other day. The blokes wouldn't do it, but she give me a right telling off. Now and again, I help them out. I can't do a lot because I'm a silly old fuck. If I get, you know what I mean? If I ever got in a fight again, I'd probably have an heart attack before anyone threw any punches. And that'd be great, wouldn't it? What a way to go, like. Me and you had a row. It's which one dies first. Before we connect punches, like, fucking we'd be out cold, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
And our missus would be there slapping us about.
No, whether we feel
no one you should know better.
Yeah.
We'll be in hospital like Mohammed Ali and smoking Joe Frazier in fucking walking chairs, in wheelchairs, still running, wanting to fight, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I am.
About 3 months each time. And I can remember former smoking Joe Frazier was in there when Ali went in there. And Ali words were to him, but I'm coming out before you, so I'm not hurt as much as you. And he would go mad. And Ali would always say to him, you're a Tom. But what he'd mean by his Uncle Tom, where people would take read the books for the kids to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And generally it was for white families, and it was an insult. But he thought he meant by peeping Tom. He looked for people's keyholes to watch them showering. And I can remember that really got him biting, and he hated that. And they'd be fighting everyone in between them in hospital. He had to take him up to, he had to take him somewhere. They'd give him a lift, like. And all the time he said, I couldn't say anything. Ali was just fucking talking all the time, shouting and that. But what a great relationship. You know what I mean?
Norman, if I don't ask you, you'll get in trouble and I'll get in trouble. Lee Walton, the new book coming out. This is the book. The Governor. The Governor. Yeah. I'm going to cross that out and put Brian Cockerill on.
Yeah, you're in it. Hold on.
It's out.
Yeah.
And we just.
Right, that's obviously I've got 2 belts. I've got 2 governor belts. I've got the Stormy Norman belt, like, you know what I mean? Well, I can't mix with Lenny McLean's or Roy Shaw's and Joey Paul brought it all together, like. I mean, out of us all, like, you know what I mean? The old man Joey was the master, like. He brought us together. He kept London clean. Total respect to him, like, you know what I mean? Lee would phone me up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and argue with me about the book. He said, that bloke. I said, well, I'll give you the phone number. He said, yeah, I phoned him up. You tell him. I said, I'm telling you the truth about everything. And there's still lots and lots and lots, because it was done through the epidemic when we all fucking was ill. Yeah. And it was all on the phone. So it was done over the phone. Yeah. So there's still a million stories I've left out, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And there's still a lot of thank yous and total respect to people I want to show. But, you know, life is short, mate, you know.
Why did you pick Lee Walton? He's doing my book now, as you know. But why did you pick him?
Because he can put. He's done the Lenny McLean books as well, like, you know what I mean. Yeah. Lenny was one of my idols. Like, now and again, I get his boys. You know, people who like, but he was the real. Yeah, he was the real governor. Like, so was Roy Shaw, the real governor. And I said their daughters and sons are now the real governors. But I said I was called governor at a young age, like, and it stuck. And when I got the Roy Shaw belt, it was the governor's belt. And when I was in prison, they were called the governors, and they called me the governor. Yeah. I said, it's something what's I prefer Norman, but I'm used to governor now, like, you know what I mean? I said, you know, blinding, Lenny McLean was blind, and his book was blind, and I didn't read it, but I heard about it. Like, people used to say in the gym when I was there, I've had the milk, now I want the cream. I said, what are you talking about, mate? He said, it was Lenny McLean. I said, yeah, what else? And I started learning the book, like, you know what I mean? They said, "It's you. He's the governor. He's you." I said, "There can't be no Lenny McLean or Roy Shaw. They were special. They're their own masters. Like, all I can be is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Roy Shaw.
All I can be is me, like, and look up to everyone, like, and that's all I ever want to do is respect and look up to everyone and help people out, just the same as you."
Yeah.
And listen, this man, this Lee is fantastic. He done a bit on Freddie Foreman to begin with the book, like, and Freddie's a lovely guy, and it fucking broke my heart, like, because I don't rate myself. I can go on all night about what I've done and this, that, and the other, and what we've done. But
who's that?
Norman.
Yeah, there it is, Roy Shaw.
Yeah.
God bless him, like.
That picture of Tina when she came to see me, Tina Shaw.
Tina, what a beautiful woman. What? Hey, listen, for Lenny and Tina, for Lenny and Roy, what beautiful daughters they brought out.
Yeah, yeah.
And tough, educated sons. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they are beautiful girls. I still wouldn't want to cross them because they'd give me a good hiding, let alone their sons.
She's got arms like
all we can do is, all I can do is praise them, praise you, and every hard man I've bumped into, like, you know. I've had a fight with the bullies and beat them up, like. I would have liked to met him, Kimbo Slicer and the other bloke. That didn't come. That didn't happen.
Listen, you can only fight what's put in front of you. You can't say you can't say who would have won him in 1950 and him in 1980. You can only fight who's in front of you. The era you were in, you were the best in your era. So somebody else comes up, you're the best. You can't be the best ever. You can only be the best in your era. Like Tyson said, you can only beat with people in front of you.
Well,
the people you fought.
I was 50, 55 years of age, and I still wanted the young, powerful, strong men, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm glad, like, you know, Matt gave me a fucking good clouting down the bottom there. I come out as good as gold, like. It wasn't until the next day my neck started hurting, and I realised, and I said to the Matt, I said, "What's going on?" I said, "You went a bit fucking heavy." I said, "Even your jabs felt like sledgehammers." Like. And I could see, you can see the fight on YouTube. They're about half an inch away when they connected at full pout, like. And the body shots, Mike Tyson couldn't do me with a body shot. I'm proud to say no one could do it. And it's funny, like, I've ended up having an heart attack after all that. But, you know, these are stars. These are celebrities in my heart, like, you know what I mean? I love them to pieces. But, you know what I mean?
You don't.
I met you. I want to go out there and meet everyone else. I'd love to shake their hands. You know what I mean? I mean, one fight we're going to, he's got a great lightweight son what's never lost a fight. What's his name? That who fought the Irishman a little while ago?
Sure.
Who was the Irishman? Who's the Irishman? He fought the Irishman. Who's one of the greatest lightweights? He's won 40 fights on a trot.
I'm not sure. Em was in the more lightweights. I'm in the heavyweight myself.
Mayweather, yeah.
I got Mayweather.
We're going to get to meet Mayweather's son in the future, one of the dudes. It's a hard dude.
It's Mayweather Senior, isn't it? It's the dad with me.
Yeah, we're going to meet Mayweather.
That's on the 8th, April the 8th, that. And I think Johnny Nelson's going to be there as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get to meet these celebrities.
We're going to get loads of photographs for them. And
they say to me to get here, like, you know what I mean? They're over the moon. And I said, "No, I'm cool, mate. I'm just come from the gutter, like." They said, "Yeah, like us. We come from the gutter, like, you know." And Mayweather, he taught his son. He trained his son up. His son's one of the greatest boxers of all times, a lightweight, middleweight. And, you know, I want to shake his hand. And the other fella, Nelson's hand, like, you know what I mean? And me shaking your hand, I'm meeting celebrities. And it means over the world for me, like, you know what I mean?
Same for me, for you, mate. We love you to bits.
I know I've been off go on a bit. Do you want to talk a bit?
No, I'm all right. I can just sit here listening to you all day. All the people are loving it. Keep him talking.
Everyone's saying keep talking, Norman.
They're all loving it.
You guys say, who's the governor? You're the governor.
She's the governor. She's the governor.
She's the governor.
And they're
these days the wives beat us up. They're the governors.
Yeah.
I tell you what, they've made us grow up, like, and act our ages. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, Norman, we really love you.
Oh, fuck, I love everyone, mate. I love you guys to pieces. And I'm so happy for you, mate. You've met a lovely woman. I got grown. I mean, I was young when Fuck me, you must be around the same age. You must be a bit younger than me. Like, you was up and coming, I think, when I was.
How old are you, Alan?
I'm 58. Yeah.
How old are you?
Yeah, you're the same age as me. Yeah, 58.
Yeah.
Not 59, I'm 60. I'm going senile. I'm going fucking senile. I'm getting too old. Now I'm going 60. I'm more like a 6-year-old than a 60-year-old.
Don't worry, Norman. Don't worry. I've got a spare wheelchair. Don't worry.
No, we both turn up in wheelchairs. What we can do, we can have a crutch each and fucking fight with each other with a crutch. But I think I'm enjoying getting older. Like, my missus showers me, she baths me, she dresses me, she feeds me. She don't have to. I mean, I can do it all by myself. But you know, and she loves me like no one else has ever loved me. Like, you know what I mean? It's sincere. And when she came to hospital, she was crying her eyes out, like, you know what I mean? And when she came to see me, she said, "It's a miracle you're alive." She said, "You was a god, mate."
You've got a special lady then. You've got a special affinity to each other. God put you together.
God put us, well, like my cousin said years and years ago, I mean, probably 30 years ago, she was talking about her. And I thought, bollocks, like, yeah, people can't see the future. She said, "You're waving a belt in the air as well. Up London." I said, "No, go away." She said, yeah, it's a special fight. There's going to be someone special there. Like, I said, "Who's this special bloke?" He's going to be an old legend there, like, you know, along with a lot of old legends. These legends, fuck me, it's only Roy Shaw, wasn't it?
Right.
It's only going to give me. And I can remember in the photo when I held the belt up in the air, like, and I started shaking it, and I held Roy Shaw, and she see that. And I said, "You can't." She said, "You're going back to fighting." I said, "I'm too old and fat now." She said, "Norman, you still got some fights in you, son. Go for it. And don't ever forget who the governor is. You will always be the governor." And this is why I shout out, "I'm the governor." Yeah. She told me that's the future, like, you know what I mean? You'll always be the governor. And just be nice. She said, "Be nice. You'll have a good wife. Be nice, kind to people, and help people out." Yeah. Obviously, she's gone now, bless her, but crazy in the future.
Be truthful, be honest, admit what you've done's wrong, help the children. We go in school, we saved 52 people for committing suicide in the last 2.5 years, me and my wife.
Beautiful, isn't it?
We've got schools, we've got hospitals, we had Christmas, we went to 7 different families where we give them food, hundreds of pounds worth of food, we bought them toys, and 7 families were struggling, and my wife for that. And
I would love to do that. We've got to go over the Philippines on the 12th of May. I've got to go for 3 weeks. Their houses, it's in, where is it? Cebu. Have you seen the news? All their houses and that are blown away.
Really bad,
and I don't know what I can do for them. Like, I'm sure we can, you know what I mean? Me and the missus could get a little bit of money together. In the future, what I'd like to do, if I get a charity, if I can get a charity, I think I'll just put my boss's name and number on there. He said, "Look, if you can get a charity, we get the money, and we go over there, like, and build a solid brick house, like a bunker, like, where they can go, because there was nowhere for them to go. Like, the storm went off, they went into the school, what was concrete, and the roof got blown off, and all the water, like, they were fighting for their lives, you know what I mean? And that's what I'd like to do in the future. Go over there, buy a little bit of property, put a big shelter for them, like, you know what I mean? Where all the families and all the boys from, all the girls and boys from Cebu, what's your village called? Bareilly. Anyone can go in there and take shelter, like, you know what I mean? I'd be happy with that. If I could at least do something good. I'm happy with the kids I've helped out in prison, like, a few of them come and see me, like, and I feel good about it, especially Matt Legg, because Matt Legg is always thanking me. Yeah. And I think, did I do that for you? He said, "Norman." And I used to tell, he can tell you this, like, he probably can't even remember. I was training him up once. I said, "Listen," I said, "I had a fucking dream. Don't start all that with, I had a dream." I said, "You was in front of the bright lights." I said, "I couldn't see if it's America or if it was an American." I said, "But these 2 fellas you were fighting were world champions, like," and I've always stuck with that. I said, I said, "Mate, if you take this up, like, it's bare knuckle." I said, "I don't know if it's bare knuckle, prize fighting, whatever it was." And it actually come alive in the future, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But at least 2 of them, like, he did fight the American. He did fight Tome Jane, Jane, who was probably one of the greatest defensive fighters of all time. What beat Holyfield, what beat Tyson, what beat the big heavyweight? What's his name? Larry Holmes. No? Was it Larry Holmes? Who's the other big heavyweight was beating everyone? Beat Ali.
George Foreman. No, Tony, was it?
No. The one, Larry Holmes.
Larry Holmes. No, Larry Holmes.
Yeah, Larry Holmes. He beat Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes beat Muhammad Ali. This is funny you're talking about that now. I'd like to say.
And then Mike Tyson fought Larry Holmes and beat him. And
it was all interesting stuff, like.
Yeah.
But I'd like to say a big thank you. Just remind me of a boxer I once met, and I didn't know who he was. Oh, I've got a picture of him up on the wall there, like. No, not Frank. I know I met Frank in the shop a few times.
Yeah,
Frank's a mate of Matt Legs.
He is.
And my mate, I've had a few professional boxers what I've sparred with, what I've sparred with him or friends of him. I'm thinking of this. He never was a world champion. His name's completely gone out my head now. Now he fought Ali. He put a good fight up with Ali. He fought Smoking Joe Frazier. Good fight. He fought one of the hardest punches of all times.
Any Shavers?
Ernie Shavers. Let me show you a picture of him. Take these belts out. Have a look at these belts. 2 for a dozen. Cheap enough fried a cat and made a baby laugh. All one. Just prize the cemetery as wide as goats. That's my fruit and veg accent.
Right.
Here you go. Who we got here? Yeah, can you see him?
I can, yeah. That looks like
Ernie Shavers there. Who we got here? We've got we've got Joe Louis, innit?
Yeah, Joe Louis, yeah.
Well, we've got the man himself, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Oh, we've got one. This is. Can you see the medal there?
Yeah, I can see it.
That's the home county. It's the box of the home county, Aylesbury.
Right.
And I picked it. You need the amateur days to pick up all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a shame. Like the last few fights, I should have come out books, and I got told to. But I was partly fucking street fighting and a pub fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was too overconfident. I'm fighting one fucking man, like, you know what I mean? Not three. They're not the blokes I want, like, but they were tough boys, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What a life I've had, you know what I mean? I can get so many different stories out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you've just done your book, the new governor, Norman. Yeah. Norman, that's in shops now. You can buy that. I leave one.
Who they introduced me to, that was the old man, Joey Pole, the old man Joey Pole. And the one from Spain now, I forgot his name. He's over in Spain now, an old bare knuckle fighter. They got me up to London in this pub. They said, "Who's this?" Like, and I looked at him like he had a suit on, like. And I said, "You're a fighter, ain't you?" Like, he said, "Yeah, I am, governor." And a really lovely bloke. He was Ernie Shavers.
Yeah.
And I said, "Did you fight George Foreman?" He said, "No, George Foreman didn't want to fight me." But none of the heavyweights wanted to fight Ernie Shavers.
Massive hands, yeah. Huge hands. Yeah.
But they reckon he was the hardest puncher out of all times.
Yeah.
But Buckler got knocked down in the first round. Fair play, carried on. He got his eye split in the 6th round, I think, and it stopped.
Yeah.
But Buckler, when he was up against Ali, like the first fight weren't that. The second fight was good. Joe Frazier, he went the distance with him. Also, he could take a bang on the chin, like. I always liked
Henry Cooper when he caught Muhammad Ali. He won that fight.
Right.
They split the glove.
He admits to that now. He admits to that. His corner man, who was he?
Angelo Dundee.
But Dundee, couldn't he turn out a boxer, couldn't he, eh?
Oh, man.
Dundee was fantastic, like. Sugar Ray Leonard, he turned out as well. All the best in the world, like. And even when George Foreman, he was the cut man. He wasn't the man giving the advice, not his corner man. But when he went in, he won he knocked the fella out for the world title. He got in there, like, and he said, "George," he said, "George, come what?" He said, that right hand. Keep trying that right hand. and he kept throwing that right hand. And the bloke went out, Moray, wasn't he, or something?
Yeah.
Moray, the boxer.
Yeah, I can't
He
remember.
went out cold, didn't he? And that's the bloke who beat God, Thomas. Oh, the white heavyweight. What was in the? He was in the film with Rocky Rocky Balboa.
Yeah. Tommy Gunn. He played the part Tommy Gunn, didn't he?
Tommy Gunn, yeah.
Yeah, Ray.
Moray knocked out Tommy Gunn.
Yeah.
And old George Foreman just knocked out Moray.
Yeah.
And he was out cold. So it goes to show if you get someone whispering in your ear and knows what you're talking about.
Tommy Morrison.
Tommy Moray. Hey, couldn't he throw a left hook, eh?
He had the best. When he was, many people know this. When he was 15, he was fighting, and he pretended he was 18-year-old. He was fighting 18-year-old blokes at 15-year-old. Yeah. He was huge, big, massive.
He was grand. He was related to John Wayne.
He was, yeah.
Was. Unbelievable, wasn't it?
His uncle John Wayne.
John Wayne, yeah.
It was his nephew, but he had some power in him. That left hook was, he hit you with that, gone. Unbelievable.
He loved the girls, didn't he? The girls loved him as well, didn't they?
He was only 15 when he was fighting 18. He pretended he was 18. He fiddled his birthday.
Yeah.
He said he was only 15-year-old. What a powerful man he was, him. And he
had what a lovely era, wasn't it, as well? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he was good.
I think Mike Tyson was in prison at the time, wasn't he? Bless him.
Yeah, I think George Foreman was the other big left hooker. He had one of the best left hooks, George Foreman.
Didn't he come back? He had to be about 45 years old, wasn't he?
Yeah, he come back and won the title.
I used to love his fights. How Ali ever beat him, I didn't think Ali could beat him, but that's boxing for you, isn't it?
What he done, Ali was the first talent. I think Muhammad Ali knew he couldn't outmuscle George Foreman. He was too big for him, so he did that rope and he just stamina beat with his stamina in the end. But I think that fight, Muhammad Ali got brain damage from that fight because he took too much.
Yeah, he took that. That's what I say to everyone. And they said he took it on the arms. I said he didn't take it on the arms. I said even Foreman said at times he was hitting him and his lights are going out. He said you could see him being knocked out. He said I beat him, hit him so hard at one stage you could see him getting frustrated, but he laid back instead of coming out. He said he was just waiting for the right time. Yeah. But George Foreman sits you in the head. He could kill you, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I always believe that's the one what done him the damage, like. Because after that, we did have another fight with Smoking Joe Frazier. That was over the Thriller in Manila, wasn't it? Was it?
Yeah, the Thriller in Manila. That was another great fight. He said when he was boxing, he said the two hardest fights was the Thriller in Manila and the Rumble in the Jungle. He said, but when he had the Rumble in the Jungle, that was the closest he come to death.
Yeah.
He was going to die in that fight.
He collapsed in the ring, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
He collapsed in the ring, like, yeah. There was sweat and buckets out, like.
It was over 100.
If Joe Frazier come out that round, he could have turned it. You know what I mean? It was, but they said he could have been dead, like, you know what I mean? His cornerman was saying, his cornerman was saying, Joe, you've got children. You've got children. Yeah. Children, grandchildren. Think of your wife. Think of your children. Is this worth it? And but Ali said, thank God they did, because he said, I don't think I would have come out.
Yeah. You know what it's like, though, to say.
Yeah, I've been over to Manila. I've been to the Philippines. It's the heat what kills you.
Yeah, you're right. And you got to remember, we were outside fighting. There was 100,000 people at that fight. Yeah. So, and they were dancing around 15 rounds that we're doing. Phenomenal fitness. Muhammad Ali's feet work, his body language, everything was brilliant. He was the best for me, Muhammad Ali. I think he was the best fighter of all time.
Of all times, yeah. Tyson Fury, I think he's fantastic. Like, you know what I mean? I put him up there with Ali, like, because what he's done for the English and the travellers, like, he's unbelievable, like. And Matt Legg, he's one blood, like, you know what I mean? Matt Legg could get him with anyone. He's not scared of no one. For Matt to say, like, he felt embarrassed, like, he said, I couldn't catch him. He said he put his hands up to his dad, like, how the fuck am I supposed to hit him, like? For a man like Matt Legg to say that about Tyson Fury, well, that's something else. That's something else. And it just goes to show you how good he is. And the fights he pulled off, Tyson Fury, were completely, I mean, it's not only his boxing ability, it's his bottle. It's the stress he goes under, like, you know what I mean? and the traveller community have turned out this. And I said years ago, I was just talking. Who's the fellow who was here earlier on? Liam Gallagher. I was talking to him earlier. Okay? Galvin. I was talking to Liam. He come up years ago. The film I was training this boy up, Paddy Duran. And I said, listen, the travellers are coming, mate. I said, there's a big world champion coming along, like. Yeah. And I think, well, I thought he was going to be here. I thought it was going to be Paddy Duran from Ponyfield, Western Turwell Gypsy site. I thought it was him. His boys, he had Jimmy, a brother called Jimmy and Johnny. And they were, but they were good boys. I mean, if I got on with one of them, like, I'd have a good old tear up, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But one after another, three of them, they could have given me trouble, like, you know? Yeah. Even one of them could have given me trouble. But they're respectful, like, you know what I mean? They used to come down there, travellers would train down there. Yeah. One site come up once, and they had beef with the other site, and they were training up for a fight, and they wanted to spar with me. So these two boys were fighting each other. They wanted to show how good they were, and they were knocking fuck out of me. I kept blaming. The only time I put a head guard on was when I was sparring with travellers or the likes of Matt Legg, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Barry Bennett was all right. The other pros are all right, like. But Matt, for some reason, he would hit fucking hard. And the travellers, and the fucking, every time they'd hit me, like, they'd fucking pull me head guard around, like, so they'd leave me blind. So right. They'd say, take the head guard off. So you'd fight one of them, you know what I mean? It wasn't sparring, it was a scrap, like, you know what I mean? And, you know, I always said, like, you done fucking well, I'm only a coach, like. But I thought, fucking hell. Then I'd have to fight the other, like. I thought, I've just taken one eye, and now I'm going to take another eye. Then they said, here, we got some chavvies here. Come and fight them as well. Madai's here. Like, my dad's here. He wants to get in with you as well, like. And, you know, it was great, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And when the dads used to complain about them, he used to, you get in the fake Norman. And I fucking, at times, I used to get my eyes split open, my face split open. And we had one what got brought down as a youngster. And I can remember the body shots. I was letting him, and his dad was telling him off. He said, show us some respect. I said, don't. I said, listen, let him go a few rounds with me, like. And I remember the dad was fucking timing it. And every round was an hour or something like that. And this boy was killing me with his body shots, like, and his head blows. And I knew what I was doing. I was experienced, like, you know what I mean? And I can remember the fourth round, what's probably the 40th round, I come out and I thought, now I'm going to turn it, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I dropped him. I threw him out the ring, like, I dropped him with something, like, he went out the ring and there was all dust on the floor, like, he fell down and he covered his hands with dust, like, but he was a bare knuckle fighter. So he didn't know he had to wipe his gloves. Yeah. So we got on, like, and they wouldn't put their hands up, you know, to touch gloves. Yeah. You spar and you touch gloves and you spar. Yeah. I put my hand out and he'd fucking chin me, like. But he had all dust and all the dust went in the face, like. And I got the and the fourth round, which should have been the fourth round, and his dad was all right. He didn't mind. I had to step it up on him. He was only a young lad. And he said, I've had enough. I said, thank fuck for that, you've had enough, like, you know what I mean? The boy turned out to be a good pro as well, like. And he said, you're a dirty fighter. I know a dirty fighter. You're a dirty fighter. I said, fucking, your boy's covered me in fucking dust all up the eyes and everything, like. I said, that's for your round, 2-minute rounds. I said, they're more like an hour round, like. And they would kick off like that, but they were good as gold, like, you know. I used to love training the travellers and being with the travellers. And I think that's because of your history, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. She showed me something. What are you showing me now?
Read it.
Hold on. Was Tom McCarthy promotion 2nd of April in Essex?
Yeah, you'll be there.
You'll be there and I'll be there, yeah?
Yeah, we'll be there. Johnny Nelson's going. I've been told Matt Legg's going. Big Joe Egan's going. So it'd be great.
It'd be last man standing.
Yeah, and Mayweather's dad's going to be there. Mayweather Senior. So
Mayweather Senior.
Yeah, he taught Mayweather. He's got the best defense in the world. So it was his dad who taught him how to defend himself. Yeah, so he's going to be there.
Stop, mate. Let's hear a bit. Come on. Come out of the closet. Come on. You're a bit shy, mate. Come on. Yeah, I know who you are, mate. Yeah. I've been up to Hartlepool, like, and I found out. Yeah, they wanted me to have a word of you, like.
Yeah.
I see you boxing as an amateur, like, and you look good, like. Then I see you boxing as a prize fight, someone with a big Mohican. This bloke could lump, and he called you in a duel with about 3 of his big right hands, and you laughed it off.
Yeah.
And I was saying to my mates, well, maybe, and he did. Frankie Ross moved down to Aylesbury. I said, maybe Aylesbury's a better place to move down to. But he was great, Frankie Ross. But I got a phone call from over in Spain. Javier, it was, Alicante. And he said, Norman, it's on top. Can you help me out? My kids and wife, I'm getting frightened. There's been death threats. And I weren't too sure about it. Like, so I'll give the phone to Frankie Ross from Hartlepool. But he's dead now. He's had an heart attack. Yeah. And he said, Norman, we'll go over. We've got a flight over there in the morning. So we went over there in the morning, parked the car up, went over. The bloke who his parents had been, his kids were being threatened, we had to go to this shop. And this Guardia turned up, the Spanish police turned up as well. And what he'd done, he was a gambler and he was taking money off them all to gamble it away. And he'd give them money back, but then he'd spent all the money, he'd gambled all the money. He said it was something he was doing over to Spain. He said some sort of poison. He'd send it back to the fight. It didn't sound right at all. And he'd ripped off a lot of people, like. And I could hear this bloke talking to the police. But they weren't. They were his mate. They weren't even the police. Yeah. Esos coños, que putas esos, ladrones. And I said, hold on, mate. I'm no ladrón. Yo no soy un ladrón. Yo no soy un ladrón. ¿Qué pasa aquí? And then the fucking bloke shit himself because I was chatting to them, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I said, ¿Qué pasa aquí? Yo en mi coche ahí tengo muchos rifles. Si quiero un problema con amigo, I said, yo no quiero problema. ¿Qué pasa? Ese hombre es un ladrón. So I said to him, I said, you fucking robbed. What have you done? He said, well, I owed him a lot of money, like. He said, mi coche, tengo mi coche in Benidorm. So we had to go all the way to Benidorm to pick his car up. And they sat me and fucking looked like the police, they did. And the matey boy was going, well, look at his boot, Norman. I thought, I'm going to look at his boot. It's fucking shooters and everything. I said, you can't have, if I couldn't speak Spanish, we'd be fucks, like, you know what I mean? Frankie Ross had to follow us to Benidorm in a little Fiat. When we got to Benidorm, these all the pavements, about 2-foot pavements and everything. You know what I mean? And he had to follow us. He's bumping up these fucking pavements, following these BMWs. We got to this bar, this bloke's bar. This bloke had to phone the geezer up with a car. The bloke come there with a car. And they had the spare keys for the car. So they took the keys, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And he was telling me, he's saying, it says coños, it says ingleses. I said, we're not all the same. I said, some of us are right. Ladrones. I said, we're not all thieves, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I said, listen, yo no tengo problemas con los españoles. Yo soy de España. Cuando era joven, yo vivo aquí en España. And I'll tell them I lived there as a kid, like, I got to and I'm, yeehaw! We used to go bull chasing. The bulls used to chase us. We was only 7 and 8 years of age. We used to jump in the harbour away from the bulls. And when we used to go on the water, the bulls used to fucking follow us. So you put your head up and there'd be a ton bull looking you in the eyes. And you try to swim away. And I think, well, that's where all the guts come from, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But we had some great times over in Spain. My old grandmother, bless her, like, she lived through the Boer War, the First World War and the Second World War. So she was very strict and everything, like. But I see we went back to Javier to meet up with everyone, and he'd ripped every fucker off, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I said, Frank, he said, Norman, he said it was a day out, wasn't it? We went to Benidorm. That's it. Bullseye! It's beautiful.
Beautiful little puppy.
Where's my puppy?
My little baby.
Mine's got a bad habit. Put that down, though. Yeah. Mine's got a bad habit. He tries eating my ear holes.
Yeah, that's what he does to the Brian.
He's doing that.
He tries chewing them off as well.
He is. He's at the ears. I think he's a travelling dog.
We got a husky. Bless them. The travellers give us the husky. It's a lovely dog. Come here. Come on. Come here. Here. Hold on.
Sure.
We got yeah, we got the Traveller's dog. It's a beautiful dog. Where's the husky, darling?
There's
There's
your own.
nothing.
There's him. He's in Nikita.
Put him up here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Here she is.
Oh,
yeah.
Look
Hello, Princess.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
I'm like that with dogs.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, kids like me and dogs like me, so I must be a good person.
Yeah.
You get
Oh,
people-
yeah. It's bright lights in the park. When we had a bulldog cross something else and an American bulldog Johnson, and I wasn't going to have no more puppies, like, because it breaks your heart. It's like losing your family, and it hurts. It makes me ill for days at a time. And all the kids, they all turn up. I've got about 100 kids. They all turn up at they didn't know what was going on, didn't they? When they got them put down, they must have been about 15 of them there, like, and the grandchildren. Yeah. There was Jay, my oldest son, Brandon, second oldest, scaffolding, Billy Joe, Siobhan, Alfie, the grandchildren, everyone turned up, like, and you know, it was horrible, like. Oh, here's the other one. Yeah. How do I get them all in?
Oh, yeah, Husky.
Husky, there he is.
Blue eyes usually, don't they? Yeah, Husky.
Oh my god.
But he loves the door, but he'll only stick by the door. The Travellers give us up. I went down to the Travellers, and they're lovely people, like, you know what I mean? I went down there. They said, if you breed her at all, let's have the puppies. I said, no problem, like. And they really looked after her, but they had a lot of dogs. And said, we got too many fucking dogs. Yeah, they're all over the place.
A lot of my friends.
We can't, you know what I mean? It's difficult to look after them all at once, like, you know what I mean? They said, would you like to look after one? I said, well, when the pups come along, I'll have it, I'll keep it. I said, my kids, I said, I weren't going to have another dog because we just lost our dogs and the kids are heartbroken and really upset. Here's an old mate from Hartlepool. Do you want to say hello? He's shy, is. Old mate of yours, yeah. Old mate of yours over there. What was I going to say? Yeah, we was all heartbroken. But then we got the husky. Yeah. Travis was an husky. He said, I know you miss your dogs. So I used to have the big dogs there. And I was heartbroken, like. And they give us the huskies. Then a mate of mine come around with this little brown thing. He'd fucking piss and shit all over the house. And he'd bit his missus and stuff like that. And he'd chewed the arse out of his trousers. And I said, oh, fuck. I said, what do I want that for? He said, hold on to it till I get a buyer for it. And I said, what the fuck is it? I said, it's a mongrel, isn't it? It reminded me of, what dog was it we had? The brown one.
Dylan, Labrador.
Labrador. I thought it was a Labrador cross thing. So he dropped that off, and it's a beautiful dog. And I couldn't give it back. I said, can we keep it? But I said, what we'll do, if we have pups, he's going to breed it with a bully, is it, or something? I said, well, when we have pups, like, I'll give you the pups, like. I said, but it's a lovely dog. We all love it, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So we kept that as well. But what have we got? We've got fucking canaries. We've got a cat over there. You see the cat?
Yeah, I can see it, yeah. Felix the cat.
It's Banks the dogs.
She's got fish, dogs, fucking everything in the house.
Yeah, the cat's the governor. Banks the dogs.
Yeah,
we got a turtle over there. We got canaries. Guinea pigs. Oh, we got everything. We got even a boxing ring down the bottom there. But I'm not getting in with you.
Yeah.
Listen. Oh, the only way I'd fight you if I had a crutch in my hand and a wheelchair. We could have a wheelchair fight, couldn't we?
Yeah, I've got two wheelchairs at this moment, so
I'll have one. But I know what my wife would do. She'll overturn. Cheers, mate. Thank you. She'll overturn my wheelchair. I can't listen. Anyone out there, I can't fight anymore because my missus will beat me up. Okay. Yeah. You've all beat me up in your time. Yeah. I'm not going to make a comeback. I ain't going to fight none of you. My wife beats me up.
Yeah. The mind is willing, the body's willing, but the wife won't let us do it.
No, she keeps slapping me every time, like, you know what I mean?
When you think about it, if we got into a fight and we hurt someone, because your reputation and my reputation, we get a lot of jail, us. We get a lot of jail. And we don't want to live our last days in jail. Fuck that.
No. What she does, well, I was on the bed once. I was like, I only had my underpants on. It was in the summer. And I wound her up. I said something like, because they miss their families. She's over here. I'm going to take her back 8 May, didn't I?
Yeah, mate.
I'm going to take her back. We're lucky. I want to take my kids, but I can't take my kids because of the COVID. Only close family, like. And the house is a blow. Hopefully I'll get some money together to buy them a little bit of property and to put a concrete house on there. But what was I going to say? Yeah, I was on the bed, like, and she loves her family, like, you know what I mean? And I'd said something to annoy her, like, and she grabbed one of my nipples and twisted it. But she tried to tear it off, like. But she's a carer. She's the most placid woman in the world. Yeah. She's so lovely, like. But we were round for 3 months, and this is the last row we ever had. It felt like she'd pulling my nipple off. And a little scream. Yeah. Look, lads, I don't fucking cry, I don't scream. Only, all right, it was a, and then she leapt forward, like, in come the big bombers, like, right in my bollocks, like, you know what I mean? And that was the last time. That's the last time I've ever had a row with her.
Virtually, you lost your last fight.
Yeah, I lost, but it was a dirty fight. You know what I mean? She tried to pull my nipple straight, and all the fights I've had in the past, all the professional boxers, all the top street fighters, all the hard fighters. This one I felt, and it hurt.
It never made you scream out, like, you know what I mean? All in fights. You never felt now. He makes you scream at 8 stone.
She was about 8 stone as well. She put a bit of weight on now. Yeah. So she might hit me a bit harder because she put a couple of stone on. But I couldn't believe a simple woman of something like 7 or 8 stone, a little Filipino, the softest and gentlest and kindest people in the world, could beat up a big heavyweight like me.
Never judge a book by its cover.
And that's like in prison, Francois. Bless them. They come from Western. They don't. Where they come from? Tring, like. He's dead now. Bless him. His brother's died as well. Like. I used to go on there. I used to play tricks on him and go back to my wing. And he had this big metal bed in his wing, like, in his room, and they used to leave the doors open. So he'd gone out training, and I'm so stupid. I jumped up and down in his bed and split it right. It's bent in the middle. He's only about 7 or 8 stone. So I was laughing because I was thinking, when he called the screws are going to say, well, I should say the governors, sorry, governors, and a lot of respect for you guys. They're going to say, how'd you bend your bed, like? And he couldn't have done it. I was 20 stone, like. And I bent it like he had to be changed. And I went back to my wing and I was pissing myself laughing. And he had to go soon, like. So I thought, he's going to be dropped anyway.
Yeah.
I could imagine him in the cell with the screws, like, say, I don't know what happened to my bed, but they're saying it's broken in half. An elephant couldn't have done that. And I could imagine what's going through his head, like, the screws. Yeah. They had to take the bed out. About 2 or 3 of them had to carry the bed out. It was split in the middle, like, bent in the middle. A great big iron bed, like. And I was pissing myself for fucking days, like. I wouldn't tell him, like. And I think a few of the boys got together, like, you know what I mean? And they must have had to talk. Because one of them managed to get onto my wing before he went. Young Francois. It wasn't Bob Francois. Yeah. And they said, you had a visitor, like, we let him in because we know you love him, like. And he's going, like, he wanted to say goodbye, like. And I said, yeah, I love the Francois. When I got into prison, they were there on 1A and they had phone cards for me. And they said the prison officers, let us know when he comes in, like. Yeah. So it was like catering for me when I got in. They showed me the ropes. And it's not a nice place. No. You know what I mean? Kids, it's nothing great about being out there. Being in prison is stupid. It's dumb. And I'll tell you who suffers when you're in prison is your wife, your kids, and your family. They do the time. You don't do the time. You don't do the time, like, you know what I mean?
When you're in there, the kids are grown up. You don't see them. They're grown up. And you can't get them years back. So you better get a job, get a bit of education, get in the gym, trained, keep yourself right and keep your. Like Norman says, educate yourself. That's the best way in life because
you've got to educate yourself. But this is what I was going to the kids like.
it is.
I said, I don't care what book you bring out. I said, don't take it away. Even Ronnie Craze or Reggie Craze. It doesn't mean you have to go down that road. But if that's what you want to read it. But I said, listen, they respected fighters, hard men, people who can hold their ground, street fighters, bare knuckle boxers. Somehow the gangsters, the hard men respect that and they look up to it. So I said, if you want respect by them, like, and I didn't know, fuck me, it's, well, top amateurs and top professional and world champions, and I didn't know I could turn that out, but obviously God was with me, like, you know what I mean? That's all I can say. God must have been there in the wings somewhere. If it meant me helping these kids out and turning them to the ring and turning like Matt Legg, doing a bit of time for them and meeting them and helping them, putting them in the, and this is what Matt Legg says. He said, Norman turned me away from the road I was taking. He turned me on the right road. And for someone like me, a big bruiser, say, don't turn out like me, son. Please, it's not worth it, like. And to plead with them, like, you know, and some of these kids were abused, not only physically or mentally, they were sexually abused. Like, I'd like to take these people who abused them as kids back to see them in 20 years' time in prison, where their heads are still fucked up. They do a life sentence, like. So you dirty, filthy animals out there, when you abuse a child, that does a life sentence, like, you know what I mean? And what I was trying to do is knock it out their head. Listen, you got to move on now. Move on, like, let's put this behind us, like, let's move on now. Now forget it. You got to be the governor of your own mind, like. Happiness is a condition of mind, not a result of circumstances. You can be happy in your head, but you've got to put that aside now, like. We've got to fucking, as a team, we can work together. And you know what I mean? We did. You know what I mean? And a lot of these kids still come back, and it brings it. A big old man like me, I don't cry. You know, after they leave me, like, I have a little tear in my eye, like, and just out of helping a few kids out, you know what I mean? It's brought me happiness, like. And if I didn't help Matt Legg out, I would never have gone to London. I would have never met Roy Shaw.
That's God.
I would have met Lenny, because I met Lenny before I went to prison. And I never had the governor belt. I could never talk to you. I would never have known you. So something bad, a legacy's taken off. Well, something good. And I'd like to do the same as you. Yeah.
That's God's done that. You don't know. He's got that plan mapped out for you, what you're going to do. And now you're helping people like I'm helping people. And what you taught Matt Legg, he's teaching kids as well now.
Yeah.
You taught him, and I've taught kids not get in trouble. And they've listened to me, and you think I've done a good job there. No, they're teaching kids. It's good. So it's infectious. It goes on. It helps people. And if you can help people out there and stop people going to jail and get people carrying knives and be themselves. In a sheep, just be yourself and just get yourself to the gym, train. You'll be a better person. I think that'll be it then. Norman, before we go, is anything you want to say to anyone?
Hey, listen, I love everyone out there.
I know
anyone who I've ever upset in the past, or, you know what I mean? I've had a few rows, like, sometimes I've had to hit people. I mean, I had someone up London I had to go up and sort out as a kid at 16 years old. I got played by a bloke called Arthur Daly. It was a Vic pub I used to mine there when I was 16. And I used to be with a bloke called Ady Brooks. I went up there with a bloke called Dean Garrity, what's still a friend of mine now. He lost his parents. I didn't know. He stuck to me like glue. He only just come out. Like, I never asked him about his parents. But we used to live in a mobile home with my old man. Like, Christmas dinner, we used to cook this is strange, we used to cook a chicken. Anything we could get our hands on, like. And it was freezing cold. It used to be colder more in the caravan than what it was outside. But I didn't know. I knew something happened to Dean's. And it's just the other day they said, like, he's carried this chip on his shoulder because his parents had died. I never knew the man was close. My mate, you know what I mean, would come up to London while I had to chin someone. Geezer had a hat on. I had a picture of him. We knew where he lived. He had a paper under his arm. He had a pint of milk with some shopping, walking along the road, a scaffolder, a big bloke. And this bloke, Arthur Daly, he used to go out with a bird, he'd give her a beating or something, like. So, you know, I say sorry to everyone, and I said sorry to him, like. But, you know, he did beat a woman, like. And I run up to him and chinned him, like. And he's gone down, he's out cold, the milk's smashed on the... It was something out of a cartoon film. The paper's gone blown away in the wind, like. The hat, I don't know if it was a cap or hat, that went off his head, like. and he's on the floor, and people are stepping over him, like, and they're not interested in what we're doing, like. I said, mate, I said, it's not me. I said, there's a few boys in Aylesbury, like Hungarian Frank or Mad Mick. I said, they'll take your arms and legs off, like, they'll kill you. Do you want these boys to come up and see you? He said, I know what this is about, mate. He said, is it over now? I said, I'll give you a slap, and that's what the slap, you're taking it lightly. You've not got your legs broke. You've not been shot. You've not been killed. I said, now, go keep away from that woman. Don't ever lay a finger on her. I said, I've been told to keep my eye on her and look after her. We called him Arthur Daly because of Minder. A little dodgy baby underneath. He's all right. And the bloke who used to have the pub, we used to call Commando Bill, because he used to talk about Commando when he was in the Commandos. Right. He must have been about 100 years old. He ended up dying. And he used to tell us about the karate chops he used to karate. So we had names for everyone. Back in the 70s, you did. It was Commando Bill what died, and his daughter took over. And Arthur Daly come in. He had a suit, proper intelligent man, and he had this young bird. What was this old scaffold give a good hiding to, like. But if I could get away with it, I'd keep it sweet, like. I wasn't evil. I was never an evil person. I hurt people, and I regretted about hurting people, like. I wouldn't break a finger unless I had to break a finger, like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't. And people, it was generally bullies, I thought, like. Generally people come at me 3 or 4. I took some good boxers out, but that's boxing, like, you know what I mean? But I always shook hands after, like, you know what I mean? I think so. I was a bit of a dirty fighter, but I'd like to tell everyone I love them all out there. You know what I mean? If it meant me changing and helping everyone out and doing what I can for people, especially kids in prison, kids what have been abused, kids what are physically, mentally, you know what I mean? Anything like that, I will do it. You know what I mean?
We will get
One
together.
thing about me, I can talk.
We'll get together in some talks, and we'll do some talks for the kids and that. We'll get me, you and Matt will do something. But just like the governor book's out there, Norman's book's in now. The new governor, it's a great book. I've read most of it. Written by Lee Wortley, who's a brilliant writer. He's in my book as well, now the tax man.
Just before I go, I'd like to say, who's the governor? Who's the governor? All right. Love you to pieces.
Okay,
love your wife.
Okay.
We love you, Norman.
See you
Love
soon.
you,
See you at the boxing dude.
Don't forget to subscribe, guys. It's all free. And
listen,
people coming on.
we can kidnap mate, the fucking dog. We can kidnap Mayweather's dad, hold him ransom. Until he gets over there, and we can attack him in wheelchairs. We could be the Cray wheelchair boys. Love you. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye.